Welcome to Mary's Place Dream Big Luncheon. Can we give it up for the luncheon? Another year. It's a fantastic opportunity to highlight all the greatness that is at Mary's Place. We're so glad you're here. My name is Tia Naché, and I am your MC for today. You might remember me from last year's Dream Big event where I collaborated with youth services team to teach the art of poetry to some amazing Mary's Place youth. And in 2022, where I debuted a new work, Mary's Place inspired work, Dream Big. I will be debuting another new inspired piece today in partnership with Mary's Place, and I can't wait to share it with you. I am so inspired by the women, children, and families that Mary's Place serves and the incredible staff that fuels Mary's Place mission to ensure that no child sleeps outside by centering equity and opportunity for women and families. To start our program, it's my pleasure to introduce Melina Cattell Muhammad, the Lived Experience Director at Mary's Place, for our land acknowledgement. Can we give it up for Melina?
Thank you all. Mary's Place stands on the lands and waters of the Coast Salish, the Duwamish, Muckleshoot, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Puyallup. The Coast Salish have resided here since time immemorial and are the original stewards of these lands and waters. Today, many Indigenous people continue to live and thrive in this place. Mary's Place is committed to ending family homelessness in our community, and we cannot rightfully fulfill this commitment without acknowledging that settler colonialism is a root cause of family homelessness for Indigenous people. The goal of settler colonialism is to take Indigenous land through the eradication and erasure of Indigenous people. Because settler colonialism is not an isolated moment in the past, but an ongoing and persistent structure of oppression, we must act. This land acknowledgement is one action Mary's Place is taking to affirm that Indigenous people have not been erased. Indigenous people are here, alive, and strong. Mary's Place is also taking action to correct and continue to build relationships with Indigenous people in our community, support Indigenous staff, and strengthen opportunities for Indigenous families that are served by our organization. Specifically, in 2024, our commitment is toward building deeper relationships and partnerships with Indigenous-led organizations that serve Indigenous people, and to strengthen our approach to data and to reflect Indigenous research methodologies that center the resiliency of the families that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Melina. As we get our program started today, the Reverend Dr. Linda Smith, Mary's Place spiritual advisor, will lead us through a moment of reflection and gratitude.
We gather today in the spirit of gratitude and hold space in our hearts for your presence and your incredible gift of love that you have demonstrated over and over again, year after year. On behalf of every staff, every woman, every family, and every child, every client, we say thank you. What you have done has been nothing short of a miracle for the many lives that you have given life, hope, and a sense of belonging. You have not just met a need, you have touched lives, created communities of belonging, and built bridges of hope. We are grateful. We're grateful for your commitment and dedication to stand by us, support, and uplift us. You have been our solid rock upon which we stand. You have stood with us, answering the call to meet every need of every family and every child that walked through our doors. We are grateful today for your continuing presence, your love that saturates us moment by moment, day after day, year after year. We are grateful for the joy that you instill into the lives of many. On behalf of every client whose lives you have touched over the years, we are grateful for your selfless acts of kindness time and time again that have made a significant difference in the lives of those who are struggling. We're grateful that you have been instrumental in ensuring that no child sleep outside. We are grateful that through your compassionate care, you have been able to create a warm embrace, feed hungry souls, clothe those who have no clothing, and most of all, loving those who are often felt unloved. Our hearts today are filled with joy for years of sacrifice, as you have continually demonstrated selfless acts and caring heart. We're grateful for every mother, every dad, every child that you have nourished through your love, building them together amidst their struggles. Thank you. We are grateful for the humanity you have restored to those who was hopeless. Thank you. We're grateful that we have reached many mountaintops because of you, and know that we can reach even more. Thank you. We are grateful for the hope that you renew time and time again. Thank you. We are grateful for your support and encouragement that fuels our collective endeavors and inspire us to reach onward and upward to the greater good, touching and loving the lives of so many. We are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please welcome to the stage saxophonist Jacqueline Cobb performing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. As you enjoy this performance, please join me in holding space for Mary's Place guests and clients who are experiencing homelessness. Thank you.
goodness. I don't think I've heard Over the Rainbow sound so good. Thank you, Jackeen. That was beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Linda. That was a beautiful moment of reflection. Thank you all for being here. Today, we're kicking off Mary's Place Dream Big campaign with a goal of raising $1 million. That's something to be excited about. Woo. $1 million to help keep families in their hard-won homes, or to move back into housing quickly and to operate our emergency family shelters. Thank you to everyone here who has given already. Thank you to our Dream Big sponsors. Thanks to our Community Challenge partner, Amazon. Today and through May 31st, your gifts will be matched up to $1 million. Okay, absolutely. Thank you. We want to thank our champion level sponsors, Dick's Drive-In Restaurant, Starbucks, Jim Dale USA, Hargis Engineers, McDonald's, Microsoft, the Larry Benaroya Family Foundation. We want to also thank our advocate level sponsors, G3 Builders. We want to thank our partner level sponsors as well, BCU, Brides for a Cause, Stanley Drinkware, and thank you so much to our wonderful supporter sponsors. And thank you to all our incredible friends and sponsors as well. Now, I'd like to welcome two incredible Mary's Place champions to the stage, Board Chair Jen Corrales and our board member, Yusri Omar. Can we give a hand clap for them as well? Thank you.
Thank you, Tia. It is so great to see all of you. This room is packed. Thank you to all of the staff and vendors, including Synchronicity Events, Seattle Center, Madre's Kitchen, and the Power Plant Seattle who put together our luncheon today. We'd also like to recognize elected officials in the audience. There are quite a few, which is fantastic. So if we could, please hold applause until we get through the entire list. So starting with State Senator Javier Valdez, King County Assessor John Wilson, King County Council Member Rod Dembowski, Seattle City Council Member Joy Hollingsworth, Seattle Police Department Chief Adrian Diaz, Seattle Care Department Acting Chief Amy Smith, Burien Mayor Kevin Schilling, Burien City Council Members Linda Akey and Alex Andrade, Bellevue City Council Member Conrad Lee, Max Okamoto from Congressman Adam Smith's office, Savannah Steele from Congresswoman Susan Del Bene's office, Megan Utami from Senator Patty Murray's office, the Honorable Jean Cohn-Wells, and also the Honorable Jan Drago. Let's give them all a round of applause.
And a special thank you to State Representative and former House Speaker Frank Chop. Many of you know that Representative Chop will not be standing for re-election at the end of this term after nearly 30 years in the state legislature and 20 years as the Speaker. Representative Chop and Tony Yuquez helped us buy our property in Burien, a former hospital and current shelter on 4.3 acres back in 2018, with $2 million coming from the state at Frank's great work. He has been an incredible champion for families and our big dreams, including the dream that will become a reality of a new shelter co-located with affordable housing that we plan to build together with Mercy Housing Northwest. Frank's heart is big as our dreams, and his resume is long with the many ways he's helped children and families and has made our community a better place. Frank, we are so grateful to you and to Tony for all you've done for Mary's Place in our community. And we look forward to all of the continued good that will come as a result of the work that you've done through your efforts in the legislature. Our kids and families are grateful too. They made you some drawings that you can see here on the screen. I guess they're coming up. We framed one for you, along with your own Mary's Place swag to wear proudly. Maybe while volunteering at a Mary's Place event. Thank you and congratulations on an inspirational legislative career. And we wish you the best for whatever comes next in your life.
Let's try that one more time. Let's give Frank another round of applause for being such a great champion. We have so many amazing community partners and service providers in the room today. If you are with an organization that is addressing our crisis of homelessness in the community, will you please raise your hand right now so we can thank you? Thank you so much for being here with us today and for all that you do to address the crisis. Also, a huge thank you to our Dream Big table hosts who have rallied their communities to give big for Mary's Place. The plants on the table are for you to take home as a thank you, and also please be sure to stop by the help desk for a Dream Big t-shirt. Thank you all for being here today to support an amazing organization. The work that Mary's Place does is more urgent than ever. And we're all here because we share Mary's Place vision for a community where all families have safety, stability, and housing. There are several ways that you can donate and help today. You can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can fill out a pledge card at your table. Remember, this is the kickoff of our Dream Big campaign that runs through the end of May. So you can continue to help after today by spreading the word and getting your own community involved. Tell your community to go to marysplacedreambig.org and have their donation match. Again, that's marysplacedreambig.org. Thank you for giving generously today so we can get closer to our goal of raising $1 million by May 31st.
Mary's Place began this journey more than 25 years ago, a place for women to find community and resources. 25 years ago, the Women's Day Center opened and hired Marty Hartman to start that program. Over these last 25 years, Mary's Place has grown to meet the needs of families with children, extended families, families with pets, families with medically fragile children, pregnant women, and new parents. Where there was a gap, Mary's Place stepped in to fill that gap. You, all of you, our community, made that work progress, be successful, and become what it is today. Last year, our founding director, Mary Hartman, stepped down to pursue other passions, and our chief program officer, who we are so incredibly blessed to have, I can't say enough about Dominique, became our chief executive officer. And I also always have to make a plug for her family, because they are so, Greg and Dee Alex who are sitting here. Because they are so deeply rooted in this community and have been for 40 years. It is within, as I've said before, Dominique's DNA that she gives so heavily and has so much intelligence and talent with what she brings to Mary's Place. On behalf of Mary's Place Board, I want to thank you, Dominique, for taking on this incredible responsibility and role, the leadership, intellect, and wisdom that you bring that we get to experience every day. And so it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Dominique, the new CEO of Mary's Place.
So full. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for caring so much about your community. Let's dream big of a community where families have safety, stability, and housing, where families don't just survive, but they thrive. And it starts with our kids. Experiencing homelessness is traumatic, especially on children. That trauma impacts a child's ability to learn, to build trust in relationships, and have physically and mentally be well. It can also limit their access to opportunities and their ability to thrive. Today, our Mary's Place intake line will take anywhere between 50 and 60 calls for families seeking shelter tonight. But all of our 720 beds across our shelters are full. And sadly, only 1 or 2 of those families will be able to come inside. While the sunshine is out, tonight, there will be many children and families sleeping outside in the cold and in unsafe conditions. Our hearts break for those families and their little ones. Families don't choose to become homeless. And when they walk through our doors, we meet them where they're at. In that moment of uncertainty, the shame and the grief, and our staff who are incredibly compassionate. Step alongside them and help rebuild their hopes and their dreams. Let me tell you about Kyle and his 11-year-old son, Micah. Just before the holidays, Kyle had a stroke. While staying in the hospital for several weeks, he was then recovering. While he had a little bit of savings, he was unable to pay his rent. And so they moved into their van, and they called Mary's Place. Our shelters were full, but our incredible outreach team met them at their van with supplies, helped Micah return to school, and began the process of supporting Kyle to apply for disability support and find affordable housing. Kyle and Micah got back into their housing. They were able to spread out, cook meals, and build memories together. After a brief rough patch and some challenging behavior, Micah settled back in, made friends at school, got connected to a counselor, and recently celebrated his 12th birthday in his house, in his new cabana. Thanks to the compassionate support of so many of you in this room, our mobile outreach is able to help families like Kyle and Micah thrive. Based on the disproportionate numbers of people in our program, we know the majority of families who don't have safety nets are people of color. Families often who have been kept out of opportunities to build resiliency and thrive. But we can disrupt the generational cycles of homelessness and the trauma it perpetuates. At Mary's Place, we are using a three-prong approach to address this crisis. The first prong is our family emergency shelters, where families can come inside for a warm and safe place to lay their head, as well as receive services and supports, and to move them back into housing. Our second prong is our mobile outreach team, who go out into the community, meet people in their cars and their tents, bringing them supplies like food and clothing, as well as helping them find housing quickly, avoiding a stay in shelter. And while both of these are critical, unless we stop the flow of homelessness into the system, we won't be able to address this crisis with just shelter and outreach. The number of families becoming homeless is just not sustainable. We need to move further upstream. So the third prong, which is one I'm really excited about, is our homelessness prevention. Keeping families in their hard-won homes with rental assistance and stability supports. Prevention is effective. Keeping families in their home reduces trauma on children and is more cost-effective by half and more equitable than a stay in shelter. Thanks to the generosity of this community and the innovative private funding, Mary's Place has been piloting prevention since before the pandemic. I'm particularly excited about the project we are working with the Lab for Economic Opportunity out of the University of Notre Dame. Together, we just accomplished our first year of a 3-year study to quantify and figure out the best ways to distribute rental assistance and find stability for families. We look forward to sharing the results of our study as well as our prevention work with elected leaders, policymakers, and all of you soon. Children are our future. They should be cherished, valued, and protected. They should never be sleeping outside. We can bring them and keep them inside, but it's going to take all of us. Less than 13% of our funding comes from government resources. The rest comes from your compassionate generosity. And for this, we're so grateful. You're always there when we need you, when families need you most. So thank you for being here today and for dreaming big with us about a community where all families and children thrive. I want to close by sharing one more thing about the many ways that we at Mary's Place are helping children and families thrive. Through partnerships with organizations like the Seattle Symphony and the Lullaby Project, Mary's Place parents and symphony musicians collaborate to write and perform lullabies that share parents' hopes and dreams for their little ones. This short video explains the project and the positive impact it had on our families as well as the musicians. Please enjoy. We have seen an unprecedented amount of pregnant moms and young children under the age of 2 come through our doors. Children that are having experiences of homelessness or potential eviction are experiencing a lot of trauma, which disrupts learning. You can have lifelong impacts on health. And so those disruptions not only have impacts now, but we also know that they have long-term impacts. Through partnerships like the Lullaby Project, moms and their new babies are able to bond and build nurturing relationships that bring joy, help build the architecture of the brain for a child that sets them up for life.
The Lullaby Project has been created by Carnegie Hall and focuses on creating lullabies, songs by mothers for their expecting or their child. The symphony has been involved about more than 10 years now, it is important that the Seattle Symphony is in service of all of its neighbors, including the guests of Mary's Place. I think everybody is understanding that music is in everybody's life. And it's really in that frame of mind we really see the opportunity here to bring people together. So it was important to us to find a way to do what we do best, which was music making.
I think we go back to the beginning. We should do Mommy Loves You twice again.
Y luego ella va a escribir específicamente cómo funciona, pero es por eso le preguntamos las preguntas. ¿Cuál te gusta? Entonces es otra forma. She's like, I love them all.
I think music is a constant in a real life, and it's always been something that's been part of everyone's life. But it's the one universal language, right? That's just, it doesn't matter what language or what culture you're from, it can tie you in all different ways, you know? It's so humbling to walk into Mary's Place and to meet these women who I don't even know half of their experiences, and just to be able, for me to share a little bit of what I know, for them to share, and for us to combine everything together, I think has been wonderful.
Everybody is enriched. The orchestra is enriched from that experience. We see it. The guests here are sort of a moment of joy, a day that they can think of something else. Working with a wonderful staff of Mary's Place is a delight. But we're so excited to be back here, and we're looking for years of doing this again and again. That's very exciting.
Last but not least.
Naché, we got your back. Mommy loves you. Darling, my everything.
Close your eyes, sweet dream. My baby's heart.
The crisis is worse than we've ever seen it, but we know this is solvable. We need your help. With you, all things are possible. Thank you for caring for your neighbors and being a part of the solution.
Gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, that video gets me every time. I got to be there for this incredible workshop and saw firsthand the impact on Mary's Place guests. As a mother, it was just a good reminder of the beauty that comes with being a mom. I have 3 children of my own, and it doesn't matter what the conditions are, life is beautiful. And so it was just a great reminder of that. A quick shout out to Stephanie Johns, Mary's Place Health Service Administrative Director, and Jeremy Jolly, Seattle Symphony composer and co-director. Both who are here with us today and instrumental in making this incredible program possible. The final concert will be happening in May for Mother's Day, and we will share that with you all so you can see and hear the final lullabies performed. You have heard from Mary's Place leaders that the need in our community is great. Mary's Place is standing in the gap to bring families inside and to secure safe and stable housing. This work is fueled by individuals like you and me. Don't miss out on this opportunity to double your impact. Gifts of every amount make a big difference. So many of you have already contributed, and we're so grateful. Consider stretching further and becoming a Homes team member. Say Homes team member with me. Homes team member. This team of monthly donors sustains Mary's Place mission, and it's one of the best ways you can show your love. For this work, one notable Homes team member is Mary's Place CEO, Dominique Alex. Woohoo! Join Dominique and become the ultimate Mary's Place champion. You can scan the QR code behind me on this screen, or you can visit marysplacedreambig.org. We're going to give you a few minutes to scan the QR code on the screen and to make your donation. There are also pledge cards in the envelope on your table for anyone who needs that option as well. We'll give you some time. Thank you.
All right, everyone, hopefully you guys are wrapping up filling out those donation cards or using the QR code. Thank you all so much for your generous donations. And please don't forget that this is just the beginning of the Dream Big campaign that continues through May 31st. So please, please reach out to all of your friends and families in the community that can support the Dream Big campaign through May 31st. I now have the pleasure of bringing back our incredible MC, Tia Naché, to the stage. Many of you know this, but some of you won't. Tia is a nationally known spoken word artist, and she's created a new work inspired by Mary's Place to share with us today. Thank you, Tia, for lending your talent and voice to the work at Mary's Place.
Over the rainbow, in the midst of the rain, when the showers are not necessarily for babies, we still safely make room for life to bloom. That is the gift of a mother, to grow a garden where there is no seed, to plant promises despite immense need. Life needs no permission to persist. They wonder how we create wonder in our wombs, and our stories are where love looms. Sing songs to tough tunes. These are the notes that strum the beats of our heart. Chart the melody of the miracle we hold. Causes us to glow because like God, we cause life to grow. There is no lie in a lullaby. Just the truth of our treasures, hope that our young hear our faith for their fate, that we heal while they hum, sweet babies, daughters and sons, our angels that rest on our chests, born by the blessing of their sweet breath. We wish nothing less but the absolute best for their arrival. A little life new and small, their means won't determine what they mean or the path we clear for them to become. We hold big dreams, even for our little ones, that the music from their mother's lips lifts them high, that we hold up the sky so they have room to fly beyond the chaos, beyond the clouds, soaring toward the sun where love is loud, where the music and the melody travels to their hearts, that the sound of their mother's voice keeps them close even when they're far apart. A song for the soul, even when the tone is low, that they know how much they matter everywhere they go. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. The Dream Big campaign runs through May 31st, so please spread the word to your network and amplify the campaign on social media. Thank you once again for your support of Mary's Place and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.